Good morning, students. Welcome back to the academic year 2020-21. Students, we know that COVID-19 pandemic has its impact on almost all sectors, and educational sector is not an exception. Your regular classroom or offline mode of learning has been stopped since the day of lockdown. But to facilitate learning, especially during this lockdown period, the University of Mysore and the Department of Collegiate Education have initiated online mode of learning from 1st September 2020. In this regard, as a part of e-learning, we have started a series of video lectures. In this semester, we are going to learn about the subject Object-Oriented Programming with C++. Myself, Dr. K.S. Manjunath, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Computer Science, Maharani Science College for Women, Mysore. I will be handling this paper for this semester for BCA third semester. As a part of video lecture series, this is my first video lecture. In this session, I'm going to discuss about different programming languages, their evolution, etc. This is the broad outline of your syllabus and a set of reference books. And in the syllabus, it is also clearly given set of lab exercises also. So the credit pattern for this paper is 4:0:2. That means your theory carries 4 credits and your practical carries 2 credits. Altogether, it's a 6 credit paper. The main objectives of this paper is to understand the need for object-oriented programming, design programs using C++ operator, different control structure, decision-making statements, etc., and introduce the concept of object-oriented programming such as object, class, etc., and how to design program using such concept, and develop program using class and function templates. The entire syllabus is divided into 4 units. Each unit is roughly 15 to 16 hours duration. These are some of the standard reference books, and these are the lab exercises. The whole syllabus has been already posted in the Google Classroom also. If you want, you can have a look at the syllabus by logging on to Google Classroom. The main objective of this session is to introduce the concept of programming languages, etc., to give a brief overview of different programming languages and compare the different programming languages based on their advantages and disadvantages. We know that a computer should be given a set of clear instructions to solve a problem, because a computer cannot think on its own. If you want the computer to solve a specific problem, then you must give computer a set of very clear instructions. The set of clear instructions given to the computer to solve a specific problem, we call it a program. A program is nothing but set of instructions. If two human beings want to communicate with each other, then they must use a language which both can understand. So the language which is used to communicate between two human beings, we call it as communicative language. Similar to this one, if the human being wants to have a communication with a computer, then he should use a language which a computer can understand. So the language which is used to communicate the instructions in the program to a computer, we call it a programming language. Programming language basically tells the computer certain things like how to take the input, how to process the input, how to display the result according to user requirement, etc. So all these things should be clearly mentioned in the program. By using the program, the computer will solve a specific problem for the human being. Programming languages are classified into 3 categories or 3 levels. The first one is machine level language. We know that a computer is made up of 2-state electronic components which can be in either on state or off state. Computer scientists are following a convention to represent the on state by the binary code 1 and off state by the binary code 0. That means a computer can understand only the two symbols 0 and 1. It can understand only the binary codes. In that case, all the instruction or all the lines in the program must be written using only these two symbols 0 and 1. Such a program which is written using the two codes 0 and 1, which are also called as binary code, we call it as a machine language program, and the language we call 0 and 1 language, we call it as a machine language. A machine language has its own advantages and disadvantages. Since in a machine language program, the whole program is written with the two symbols 0 and 1, the computer can understand it directly. Hence, machine language program execute fast. Since the program is already in zeros and 1, it's already in a machine understandable form, no need for any translation. But a machine language program suffers from two drawbacks. A computer can understand only 0 and 1, but for a human being, remembering or by-hearting the binary codes of 0 and 1 for every line in the program is a tedious task. Another major drawback of a machine language program is the machine code or the binary code is not common across all the machines. It varies from machine to machine, hence it's a machine dependent language. But remembering the binary code for one particular machine itself is a tedious task. But in the market, different types of computers are available, means remembering the binary code for all such machines is not at all possible. To avoid the drawback of machine language, they developed what is known as an assembly level language program. In an assembly level language program, you need not write the program using only the two symbols 0 and 1. You are permitted to use certain standard words like add for addition operation, sub for subtraction operation, etc. So these standard words add, sub, mult, etc. we call it as mnemonics, or they are also called as mnemonic codes. So in an assembly level language program, the program is written not by using binary code, but by using mnemonic codes. Therefore, the assembly level language program, we always also call it as a mnemonic language. The assembly level language program also has certain advantages and disadvantages. The first advantage of an assembly level language program is it's easy to remember the mnemonic codes when compared to binary codes. Hence, writing assembly language program is easier for human being when compared to machine language. And the third one is it helps in understanding how your processor or your memory works inside a computer. But the assembly language program has its own drawback. A computer can understand only machine language program. For a human being, writing the program in assembly level language is easy. But since a machine cannot understand this one, assembly level language program should be converted into a machine level language by means of a translator called assembler. So we need to buy a translator whenever you are writing a program in assembly level language. And generally the time taken for a computer to execute assembly level language is more than the time it takes to execute a machine language program, because assembly level language program should be first converted into machine language. First the translation has to be done, then the execution has to start. To avoid these two drawbacks, they developed what is known as a high level language. A high level language, the program is not written neither by using mnemonic code nor by using binary code. Instead of this one, the program is written using almost English-like statement and mathematical operators. For a human being, learning and writing program using high-level language is easy when compared to machine language and assembly level language. And the biggest advantage of a high-level language is it is completely machine independent. The program written for a particular problem in a high-level language remains same in almost in all the computer. The program need not be changed from one machine to another. And it is easy to correct the errors and detect the errors and correct the error in the case of high-level language program. So that means debugging is easy. But the problem is a computer cannot understand high-level language program. So the program written in a high-level language should be converted into machine-level language. For that one, again, we need a translator. High-level language program can be converted into machine-level language program either by using a compiler or an interpreter. Since a computer can understand only machine level language, first we have to convert the program written in high level language to machine level language. So it takes more time for the program to execute if you write it in high level language, because first the high level language should be converted to machine language, then the execution has to start, just similar to your assembly level language. The next one is procedure oriented language. There are many languages like C, COBOL, Pascal. C language you already studied in your first semester. So these languages, conventional language, we call it a procedure oriented language. In a procedure oriented language, the program is nothing but a sequence of instruction. Every instruction in a procedure oriented language tells the computer to do something. It could be accepting the input, it could be processing the input, displaying the result, etc. But in the case of procedure oriented language, whatever may be your problem, you have to write it as one single program. You cannot, even the problem is big, the program is very large also, you cannot decompose into sub-program. So the entire problem should be written as one single unit program. So this method of writing program is suitable or sufficient for small program. But as the program size increases, it's difficult to write the program. At the same time, it is difficult to understand the program and also maintain the program. So these are the three major drawbacks of a procedure-oriented languages like Pascal, COBOL, etc. In a procedure-oriented language, there are so many drawbacks. Since the entire program is written as one single unit, all the data that are used in the program are considered as global data. We know that there are two types of data, local data and global data. The data which are specific to particular function, we call it as a local data, and the data which can be used by all functions, we call it as a global data. For a global data, there is no security, because any point of the program, the value of the global data can change. So it's difficult to keep track of changes to global data. This is the first drawback of a procedure-oriented language. Second one is, in a procedure-oriented language like COBOL, etc., if you want to jump from one point in the program to another point in the program, they were using a dangerous statement called go-to statement. But too much usage of go-to statement the program loses its structuring property. But nowadays we are using control structure for that purpose. That I'm going to discuss in my next slides or in the next sessions. A procedure-oriented paradigm is suitable for small-sized program. As I told earlier, this methodology or this procedure is suitable for small-sized program. When the program size increases, it's not at all possible to write the program using procedure-oriented concept. Students, in this session, we have learned what is a program, what do you mean by a programming language, what are the different types of programming language or different levels of programming languages, what are the advantages and disadvantages of machine language, assembly level language, and high level language. I give a brief introduction to procedure oriented programming, what is the basic concept of procedure oriented programming, and for what type of situation procedure oriented language is suitable, and for what type of situation procedure oriented language is not suitable, and some of the major drawbacks of procedure oriented language. So these things are covered in my first session. These are the probable review questions on the first session. In the examination, the question could be define the terms like programming language, what is machine level language, what do you mean by assembly level language, define high level language, compare the different types of programming language, what do you mean by POP or procedure oriented programming, what are the drawbacks, what are the advantages. These are some of the probable review questions from the first session. And to test your understanding of this session, I have included some multiple choice question also. Which of the following is suitable for human being? Is it a machine language, assembly language, high level language? None. The correct answer is high level language. C is an example of high level language, machine language, assembly level, and object oriented. So C is an example for high level language. In a procedure oriented language, control transfer is achieved through go-to statement, looping statement, decision making statement, switch statement. In a procedure oriented language, control structures were not available, means the only alternative is through goto statement. High level language programs are also called as object program, source program, target program, none of these. Generally, program written in a high level language, we call it as a source program. The source program, once it is converted to machine language, that is called as a object program or target program. Compiler translate high level language program into dash. High level language program must be translated into machine language using compiler. The correct answer is compiler translate high level language program into assembly language, source program, machine level. It is machine level. Thank you. If you have any feedback, you can call me over that number. That's my WhatsApp number also. You can send your queries to my email ID also. And the same video lecture link, I'm going to post it in my Google Class also. If you want, you can refer that.